Yes, here we are, more snow. I plowed the other night, should be last night, and that was Saturday. So now it's Sunday. What we're gonna do is we're gonna cut this filter open. It didn't seem like that big of a deal to me. But yeah, since my transmission has needed to be replaced, it's suddenly more important to me. So we're gonna cut open the DCT filter and see if there's anything in it. Like, what in the heck caused the transmission to go? I don't know, but we got Princess on the lift. Of course, it's lowered down. What I'd like to do is give her a nice little spray wax, wipe down, and then I'm gonna put her over here where the C3 is, and then Andrea's C3 blew power steering line last time it was out, so I'm gonna put it on the lift, and so then I can change the power steering lines. Whether I do it today or not, I don't know, but the cool thing is I had ordered some because one power steering line had a little nick in it, so I was like, you know what, let's just order a set. Ordered them off Corvette Depot.ca, and haven't put them in yet because it didn't really need it, but now it needs it. So take my boots off, put some shop shoes on. My bench is a mess, which I'm a little embarrassed about, but the problem with having two shops right now is I have stuff in both places. And I have a toolbox that's at the other shop, which isn't at this shop. So I'm kind of working out of my small toolbox, and then I end up dumping stuff on here. So anyways, what I'm gonna do, I've had my DCT transmission filter sitting here for, well, a couple of months since I changed it. And we're gonna cut it open. Now, I don't have a really good cutter, but I have X-Acto knives and I have a wiggle saw. So I'm gonna try that. We'll cut it open, and then we're gonna put the filter in the vise and squeeze it, because when you squeeze any remaining fluid, oil out, then it'll show you if there's any particles laying on the paper filter. At least I think it's paper. I mean, generally they're paper. So yeah, we'll just clean up a little area so we can do this. Okay, so I've got my wiggle saw. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Generally it should pull out from one end, so I'm just gonna try cutting this end, I think. Okay, so apparently that's not that easy. It has a metal mesh inside, so let's just try going right through. Well, that's interesting.
What?
Well, it's kind of felty. So, I guess there are ribs there. Let's see if we can pop this out of here. Now your hands are dirty, Andrea. Maybe I have to cut this end off too. Probably need to cut it off. We'll just cut it off. Spring. So there's a spring in there that looks like when the filter gets too, like if it's plugged or the pressure's too much, it'll push it open so it'll bypass. So that's interesting. Now let's just wipe this up so we can keep that debris separate from this debris. Now we just need to pull it out. Now we just need to pull it out. Simple, easy, honest. Actually, it's kind of glued to the side. I probably could have cut it a little closer. Just, ouch. Careful. See, there's glue there. I'm not too worried about the mess that I'm making as far as contamination, because, well, for one thing, most of it's plastic, and what we want to see is what's stuck in the grooves. So let's just wipe my hands to control the environment. What I do is tear this apart. Of course, it's metallic, so it's kind of hard. I don't know if we'll be able to, well, maybe I can peel the metallic part off. Oh yeah. Separate the wire mesh from the papier, whatever that is. Mesh on the outside, mesh on the inside, because we want the mesh as we dissect it. Okay, so let's just tear a piece off. Should cut that. So,
do you think that started out a dark color, or do you think it would have been white?
It would have been white, but I mean, it fills up with oil and it changes color. But what I want is to accordion it back up, and then we put it in the vise to squeeze all the oil out. Normally it's not this difficult with an oil filter. This much. Put this underneath. See, when you squeeze it, it squeezes all the oil out, so if there's particulates, you'll see them.
Mm-hmm. So you know what you're doing.
Yes. Back in the day, changing oil on trucks, if you wanted to just, you know, have a little inspection on things, this is what you do.
I thought you were just winging it.
When you squeeze all the oil out, then you can see what's stuck in it. So. Now the filter's white again.
Wow.
You know what? There are some shiny bits in there.
There are. Question is, did you put them there in the deconstruction?
I don't think so, because there's too many of them and they're small. So I don't know if you can see this, guys, or we'll turn this way so we're more into the light. But you can see some sparkles, like right there, and they're small sparkles, so they're not from me. Yeah. Can you see the sparkles?
I can't even see them from this distance with my eyes, so.
And on the back side, oh, there was one. There's one right there.
Right here?
Of course, one side of the filter shouldn't have sparkles, but yeah, let's do this other little bit. Wipe my hands some more to try and make sure we don't contaminate the test.
This is science here.
Do you believe in science? You know, and if you zoom in, come over here and look, you can kind of see, like there's some silver bits right there. That oil looks like there is.
I don't know if the camera will actually see it because I can.
But do you see how it's kind of grayish?
Yeah.
Like it's
not
just nice and oily.
Not just oil. There's a lighter.
Actually, I wonder if I have well, of course I have a flashlight.
I wonder.
See if it'll show the sparkles. Yeah, see that's kind of the grayness? That's definitely shiny material.
Like the light gray.
Yeah. Yeah. So, interesting. Interesting. I think...
I was still staring at the oil.
Based on this, I'm thinking this debris, and when did I change this filter? I think I changed it at 7,500 kilometers, which is when they tell you should, because we had gotten back from our long trip. But, so if the filter gets plugged, it's going to bypass. But the problem is if it bypasses, any of that metallic-y oil is going to go through your transmission. So I think a person should almost be changing this filter like your first oil change.
Well, one would think the engineers would figure out.
Well, and I think the problem is some of them get, manufacturing debris. Yeah, so you can see some silver metallics. Mm-hmm. I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but
I'm not sure.
There's some shiny bits.
I can, yeah, definitely. The whole thing has a bit of a sparkle to it.
Mm-hmm.
Which paper shouldn't have.
No. So I would say if you change your DCT transmission filter, I would cut it apart and do this and see what you see. I mean, obviously you want your filter to catch debris. So if you see some stuff, it's doing its job. But I think this is a bit excessive, is what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Guess this can go in the garbage now.
Question from a dumb person.
Mm-hmm.
Why is there debris there?
Well, because in the manufacturing process, they didn't get it cleaned out enough, or something was wearing.
So it's not necessarily a problem with the initial transmission.
No.
Exactly.
Not necessarily, no. Which is why some cars are perfectly fine and some cars are not. Because let's face it, most C8s I don't think have had this, problem. A lot have, but this is also why they've upped their filter recommendation and why some dealers were changing filters with the first oil change.
I think they were doing it free too.
Yeah.
Like they weren't telling you to do it.
My local dealer didn't do it for free, but then they don't do a lot of C8s, so they probably didn't even know this was an issue. Because I think mine's the first transmission they've seen.
So they say.
Yeah. Okay, zoom in here.
Zoom.
See all the gray stuff when you squeeze it? I don't know if
Maybe
you
you
can
should-
see it.
Maybe you should take the camera and... I'm not much of a cameraman.
Well, you're a better cameraman than
No, man?
no man, with me with multiple hands, so squeeze all the oil out like so. Now let's open her up. Oops.
You done broke it.
This one's harder to see anything. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there's some metallics in there.
Yeah.
I can't help but wonder if a person had have, you know, changed the filter after, say, I don't know, the first 1,000 kilometers. Because it's not hard to change the filter. It's really not. You could do it at home. Well, we did it at home.
So is it just that first change that you think was... Like
Was what?
basically there was stuff in the transmission that first filter would have caught and then everything would have been okay?
Yeah.
Not-
Well, should be okay.
Okay.
And like one of the things that, you know, they say you should do the flush, but there's actually it's on YouTube somewhere, an engineer from Corvette that says you don't have to do the flush. Basically, like the only thing the flush does is they just force more air or more fluid through the filter right before they change it. But normal driving pushes the fluid through the filter. So, and they said you don't have to do it. It's just something that they do because they can. But obviously those little metal particles, like I gotta do some research. I don't know what it causes, but like in mine, what's wrecked as to why it wasn't shifting right. I'm thinking it's probably the shift solenoids maybe, but yeah, anyways, it just, I would say that much silver stuff is not good. It's kind of what I'm thinking, so.
Kind of makes sense.
Well, especially since we know the transmission went goofball. And I mean, I'm not a hard driver. And the nice thing is, GM, they know that I have this channel. They know that I did the filter change myself. They know that I added the extra 2 quarts. Didn't say boo. Nothing I did myself affected my warranty at all. They checked it out. In fact, to figure out which transmission I have, we referenced the YouTube video because I brought the car home and they were like when they ordered the transmission, apparently mid 23, there was a change in the transmission. I think it went to a deeper sump if I'm not mistaken. And my transmission had, I think, 5 bolts across the front and the other one has 4. So they wanted to know which transmission I had so they can change it with the same transmission, which I don't know why you wouldn't upgrade it to the newer transmission unless it's a case of
Fitment.
yeah, something different with the bell housing, but and then you got to wonder, okay, so now that I have a new transmission, I'm thinking
Are
that
we in the same boat?
yeah, should I be changing that DCT filter after the first 1,000K? I'm thinking yeah.
I think we should.
I think we should. And the only other poopy part is that means I have to add more transmission oil to it. But hey, we already know how to do that. And the car's come apart a few times, which is a real stinker. Latest update too, when they got the car back together. So today is Sunday. I dropped the car off Tuesday morning. They said it's like 14, 15 hours. So thought there's a chance that it could be done in 2 days. But it, yeah, so they had it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It was supposed to be done Friday, but then they couldn't get the top to go down or go up or one or the other. Now, one of the things that I noticed they did do looking through the window is they took the back of the convertible top up, which is good.
Off.
Yeah, they took it right off. And the good thing for them doing that is, because the one thing I was worried about, which, I mean, we haven't inspected the car yet, but if you have the trunk up a little bit and open the top, it hits and chips. So hopefully they didn't do that. And of course, take that off so you can work in from the top, have the trunk open because you got to take the bumper off. So So yeah, they said the top wasn't closing. And they're like, did you have any issues with your top? And I'm like, no. So they checked the micro switches, and apparently now it works. I don't think they had to do anything to the micro switches, but they broke some, well, I'm assuming they broke some tabs. Let's just say they have to get some clips for, they said the liner, which is probably the headliner, because looking through the window, I saw that anyways, I don't want to think about it, because with this tan interior, to pull the headliner down, like...
They better have clean fingers.
Yeah, they better have clean fingers, so... let's just hope the guys at the service center looked after Red while she was there. But we're gonna find out, because tomorrow's Monday, I get to go pick her up. I think I'll be taking the trailer. Of course, you can see the snow on the ground, but it's also supposed to warm up to 4 degrees and rain. Which isn't ideal, because the snow that's not gone, it'll probably go to compact snow and turn to ice. It'll be fine. We'll just go slow. So yeah, plan right now is to take the trailer her home, and either unload her into the garage or unload her into the shop. Might unload it into the garage so that we can fix these power steering lines, since, you know, Andrew was so hard on it and wrecked it, so. And then once the power...
It's 49 years old. It wrecked itself.
Very true. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. We will catch you in the next one. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe. It's free. Also, leave me a comment. Do you think that the shiny particulates had anything to do with the transmission needing to be done? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Thanks, guys. Take care. Bye-bye. I gotta clean this up.